Popper. What is going on, everybody? Today in this video I'm going to teach you the most elite ways to work a popper. You can use these methods anywhere you go, on the boat, the beach, the pier, the jetty, anywhere you go. These methods are guaranteed to help you catch your next PB. We're going to talk about how to work it, the colors to use, what equipment to use, and exactly how to work them to catch your next PB. Check it out, y'all. Alright, what's going on, guys? So here are my collection of poppers that I like to use daily when I'm fishing. So I have different colors here. This purple here I like to use when the water is dirty. It's always dirty outside, of course, in Galveston, in the upper Texas coast. But when you're even fishing nights, this is a great silhouette when the water is dirty. And here I got this fish scrum here. This is by Fish Lab, nice and shiny. It's something I would use in the clear when the water is a little cleaner and it's daylight outside. Extra clean water here. Look, see, this is pretty transparent here. You're gonna use this when the water's super clean. And a white and red. I've had a lot of poppers in this color variation that have always been really successful. This color here is deadly when you're fishing for jacks, kings, and a lot of fish that like to feed on the top. And here's a few Williamson. I think they stopped making these, but here, this popper here in particular, I've had this popper here for a long time, for several years. You can see it's all beat up, it's rusted out in some spots. But see, this thing here has landed me a lot of fish. I've had this for a long time and I haven't lost it. The only thing is that I've had to switch out the hooks. Now, on a lot of these poppers, you're not going to have to be switching out a lot of hardware because most of it come with really good hooks and hardware on it. Now, one of the questions I don't see answered really much on the internet when it comes to fishing with poppers is colors. So I go by 3 different rules. When the water is dirty, I always have something that's dark like this. The water's always dirty in Galveston and the upper Texas coast, so you want to use something that has a really nice contrast on the sky and in the water. So this dark purple here is going to be your solution to that. I always carry that something that looks a little more natural. This is a bone colored bottom. Now you have to understand that most bait fish's belly is bone colored or silver. So this here, if you look under it, that's the color of it right here. And all this mumbo jumbo on top, all this, like, you see like color changing patterns and red and designs, it doesn't matter. The top does not matter. It's only the bottom that matters. This is what matters, the bottom. And then of course you always got to have a white and red. I don't know exactly what it is about this colorway here, and I think it's the red and the white combination works really well because the red demonstrates or mimics a wounded fish that's bleeding, and this is the belly right here. This color here is just deadly no matter where you're at. White and red is killer. Alright, so we made it to West Marine. I like to come to West Marine to look for offshore gear. They have a lot of offshore stuff here locally. So I'm going to go in there and look for 2 particular poppers. I'm looking for a Yozuri bull popper, the silver and red. I call my PB mackerel with that one. And also I'm looking for the Halco rooster popper in white and red. I really like those. Those are really kill. Those patterns are really good when it comes to catching pelagic fish from the shore. So let's go inside and see if we can find those. Alright, so we got a few poppers here. Imagine casting one of these at the jetty. This thing is huge, as big as my forearm. I do have this one here. I got the 5-inch one. This is pretty big though right here. I don't think anybody's gonna hit that at the jetty. It's huge. Here we got some Yozuri ones here. This is a good color right here. It's dark right here. Red, silver. I like the white and silver. I mean, I like the red and white most of the time. This is pretty good right here. That Dorado looking one. I actually call my PB mackerel 30 inches with this right here. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get it just because of that reason. So I ended up taking the Halco rooster popper. The reason I took this is because this is much more realistically to get hit than those huge poppers. I know I've had really good luck on the pink and yellow, but we're gonna go ahead and try this one. But this pattern here, this white and red head, is always pretty deadly when it comes to kings and jacks and other fish. All right, so today's combo, what I'm gonna use here is gonna be a 7.6 popping rod by Okuma. This is a PCH custom. Beautiful rod, great action, quality components, Alps reel seat, Alps guides, full of quality stuff. It's paired with an Okuma Makara 10,000. It's full of 50-pound braid, and I got the casting cannon by Breakaway. This is the ultimate popping combo from shore for the jetty. You can catch anything with this. Let's do it. Let me go ahead and put a lure on real quick. I got my tackle box. This is like $300 worth of lures in here. So let's go ahead and pick something out. I think for the demonstration, we're gonna pick out the lure that has the most action, in my opinion, which I think that's going to be, let's try this one. This is going to be a Williamson popper. It's 2 ounces. I've used this a lot. It's all beat up. Look at the bill. 60-pound leader here. It's going to be Albright connected with an Albright knot down to a power clip here. And the most effective way to work these poppers is this way. It's called the actual popping or blooping, how they call it in Australia. But I watched a video from this guy in Mexico, and he was over in Cabo, and they were catching huge roosterfish and jacks with this method. Let me show you guys. Here we go. So we're going to cast it out. What you do is, if you're sitting at a jetty, what you're going to do is wait for your lure to settle on top of the water, reel in your slack. Another tip is tighten your drag. Tighten your drag, because if you're doing this and your drag is loose, you're gonna hear your drag go, it's gonna pull and it's not gonna be effective. Reel in the slack, boom. And you can hear the, it's like somebody slapping the water. Now just listen to what I say now. All right, make sure your drag is tight. Reel in your slack, and then wait for a second and go. Boom. Reel in the slack. Reel in your slack. Reel in your slack. Boom. Reel in your slack. Look at that. It sounds like a speck when they're hitting the top water. That's how it sounds, but much louder. The next popular method, this is what I usually see people doing when the popper, it works, but not as good as the popping method, is this one right here. Basically just a straight retrieve. So what people do here, and what you can do here also with the straight retrieve, is basically as soon as it hits the water, just reel it in. Reel it in. And it's basically, when you reel it in, the bill of the top water is going to start making like a jet motion of water on top. It's going to start shooting water above it. And that's the other method that is really successful also. I prefer the popping method, but this method also, when you have fast moving fish, when the jacks are feeding on top and they're moving real fast, then they do like that method also. That's what it looks like on the water. Let's get it back out. This is the fast retrieve method. You ready? Here we go, watch. You see that? The water jet on top shooting over it. It leaves a nice trail. You can see the water. And that method works really well when you actively see the jacks eating on top or whatever's on top. It attracts a big crowd of fish, and they'll strike it, and you'll see like fishes going behind it. Bop, 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 bop. Personally, I prefer the popping method, but that method works just as good. Man, I can't believe I lost that popper. I was had the popper for a long time already. Had about 5 years. Caught a lot of fish on it. That's why it was all beat up and nasty. Guess I'm gonna have to get another one. 25 bucks. Well, I mean, 25 bucks went a long way.